Now, is it just me, guys, or do you think there is something very, very obvious that is missing in Vanilla Shores? I mean, we've got a bus station. In fact, we've got two. We also have train stations galore over here and also here for freight and cargo. And so I started to think to myself, guys, as we start to expand Vanilla Shores, and as you can see, we are expanding beautifully at the moment, there is something that is missing. We've got our rail, we've got our buses, and obviously later in the future, we will be able to develop an airport, we will be able to develop some kind of maritime connections. However, I think the next most logical thing is going to be trams. If we take a little look over here on our transport tab, straight after roads, straight after trains, we get trams. And I think that is exactly what we should be focusing on today in this episode. Now, as you can see, we've been developing across these beautiful archipelago islands over the last few episodes. We then eventually decided to go onto the mainland and develop an old town over here with some beautiful suburbs in the distance and some gated communities as well. We then progressed to develop an absolutely immense downtown that is yet to spawn in for a lot of the medium and high density, which we will get in the next few episodes. And we also, last episode, developed ourselves a beautiful, well, I don't know if I'd call it beautiful, but it's a garbage island for rubbish, dustbins, whatever you want to call them, refuse collection. And so we are expanding. However, I do not think we are big enough to justify an airport. And so the next logical step is going to be trams. Now, I'm not going to use trams to interconnect these individual areas. We're not going to use a tram to connect downtown to our old historical town here and all the islands. That's what buses are for. That's what rail is for on the mainland. What trams are going to be for now is actually interconnecting a pedestrianized community within a village itself. Just how within our suburbs here and also within our suburbs here we have bus routes, how about we create ourselves a community that's purely pedestrianized, as car-free as possible, and people get about not by buses, because those things have wheels. Well, I guess trams have as well, but you know what I mean. And instead, we develop a tram community. And I've actually sussed out these beautiful islands over here to become our tram community. We've got our downtown to the left, our old town to the right. It only makes sense that we have something in the middle here. And don't get me wrong, guys, we are not going to completely saturate this area with urbanization. A fair portion here is going to be wildlife and forest, and the same for this area over here, and probably for these islands over here, they're going to be quite wildlife heavy and friendly. However, these larger islands here, I think it's a good idea that we start to consider populating them, and that is exactly what we are going to do today. Now, first things first is going to be road connections. If we take a little look at where our roads currently are here in Vanilla Shores, we've got a beautiful, completely clear highway here that connects downtown over to the old town and obviously the islands eventually as well. And I think that is probably the best connection that we're going to be able to capitalize upon to eventually connect to our islands over here. Now, you might be asking, why on earth do we need roads if this is going to be a pedestrianized community? Well, the reality is with City Skylines 2 is that you do need a road connection. When we're going to be building along these islands, we are most definitely going to have pedestrian streets. However, there needs to be a connection to the outside world, I suppose you could call it. And I think this island over here is going to be the best thing for us. What we could do, I'm considering for the time being, is getting ourselves some parking space over here so that anyone that drives here can then kind of get off, get onto their trams, and then progress onto the rest of the islands here. However, for that to happen, we're going to have to unlock some things, or I should say at the very least one thing, and that is going to be our tram network. So for 2 development points, we've got 10 for the time being, so we've got plenty. We are going to officially unlock trams, which is super, super exciting. And let's take a little look at what we've got. So under our tram tab now, we've got the tram depot. Blooming heck, this thing is massive. I was not expecting it to be this big, and I think we are actually probably going to have to commit potentially an entire island just for the tram depot. Now, the first thing we're going to have to do is actually build our tram depot, and I bought this island here thinking, you know what, I don't actually want much urbanization really near to our old town. I do want some segmentation. So why don't we use this island for some utilities, such as, for example, our tram depot? So we're going to stick it right here like this. We're going to beautify it a little bit later on, but what a beautiful building in itself. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors that the trams can go into. You've got a few more of these service ones here. Wow, this is a very, very pretty building. I actually love this. And this is, believe it or not, the first time I'm using trams in City Skylines 2. So again, super, super exciting. Now, because we put the depot down, we can get some, both European and North American tram stops. So let's get started on this first island where we're going to be connecting our highway to our tram community. Obviously, we're going to have to buy one more tile, just one more tile, so we can actually finally connect up this highway to our tram community. So we're going to get rid of all of this highway just for the time being. Put the immense junction over here. Blooming heck, this is huge, but I think it's going to work pretty nicely for what we want. We're going to actually upgrade this highway as well to a 4-lane two-way highway if we're able to. It seems like we're not because we don't have this tile unlocked. We'll upgrade that eventually. However, for the time being, we will just connect each of these up with some 2-lane roads like this, which should work pretty nicely. We're going to make sure that people can't be doing any sneaky kind of turns if we can, or are they not going to be? Okay, there we go. Perfect. So they go that way, they go that way. That is wonderful. And that then means we can get this massive road. I don't think we're going to need a road that big. Maybe we could just stick with, maybe not a 6-lane road, but maybe just like a standard 4-lane road. We can upgrade this to just like this and then bring it around over here. And what I envision is a bit of a one-way system. We build a really big parking lot right here. We then take this 3-lane road down to a 2-lane road as we continue on, to then once again build another parking lot, and this 2-lane road eventually becomes a 1-lane road that we can then connect up just like this, which I think will work really, really nicely. I think it would also make a lot of sense for us to obviously have our tram stop here, and so perhaps we then bring this road along like this. And actually, because this 1-lane road is then merging with the 1-lane road, we'll upgrade this one to a 2-lane and then this one to a 3-lane, which I think all works out really, really nicely. And hopefully for traffic management, it will work out nicely. And actually, considering the way the tram loop station is built, maybe if we just fill this up with some more parking space, a couple of motorcycle parking spaces in as well, to be inclusive for that, then maybe this is where we could put our tram loop just like this, before then starting to construct our tram line, which I think in one direction will go around here on this side of the car park, and then this side of the loop will kind of bridge over this main road before then coming back down to ground level, and then loop around this side of our parking area before then marrying up on this bridge just like this, so we have a bit of a tram loop. These guys don't seem to be very happy. Track not connected. Okay, so I understand. So this is just like a one-way loop, it seems, so we're going to have to instead maybe backtrack a little and just connect up like a singular one-way track. Is that what they want? I think I fixed it finally. So we're going to connect this up so it, once again, is like a roundabout still. Okay, and just like that, everything's nicely connected, which is awesome. They're going to come to this main station here, which I think is going to get super, super busy, considering it's going to be the main connection now into our city. But we have plenty of parking spaces to facilitate that. And I think it's only right that we get the pedestrians sorted with a pavement path as well for them to walk over to the tram stop to eventually get over into the city. And as well as that, I think we should also be considering the introduction of our first pedestrian street here, because oh my goodness, what on earth has happened here? Oh my god, that looks horrendous. I kind of just want to keep it like this for the time being just to see what happens with traffic, but this hopefully will provide a road connection in just for the locals, for the people that live here who still kind of require road connections for vehicles and stuff, and also for utilities obviously, so that should work out fine. I feel like it's only right that considering this is the biggest island, this is kind of like our main island, I suppose, and so we're going to be building this up significantly. However, I first want to go over to some of these islands, because these two islands over here I see as beautiful scenic spots as you can overlook, well, actually, to be honest with you, this is a very industrial area, so maybe not as scenic as I was thinking it might have been. But perhaps I might backtrack and instead call this our beach island, because I was going to turn these two into beaches, but considering how close they are to the industry, I feel like this shore, I mean, I guess it still is near the industry, but at least they could maybe look out in this direction instead. And I kind of want to turn this into a bit of a beach. Now, obviously, a tram's going to be necessary, so we're going to go for a tram parallel station with a small pedestrian street that basically follows this beach a little bit in a loop like this. We're also going to connect up the tram station just like that. And then we're obviously going to need our tram tracks coming through here also, which are going to cut straight through here onto our main island. And now it's time to detail this place. Guys, this is actually looking really, really nice. We've got ourselves loads of deck chairs all around the place. We've got kiosks. We have like a little central fountain here, a super steep cycle path that basically encircles the entire little island here. And just generally speaking, I think it looks like a really cute little community to be a part of. If we hit play, you're going to start seeing a few places spawn in, and these are going to be the only residences. I think this one down here with the red crane is going to become a shop, but the rest are going to be residences, and they're going to be the only houses on this tiny little island. But I think it's going to be really, really beautiful. I think just going back to our kind of parking ski transport area around here, it would actually be kind of nice to have another slight detail. Details in the form of windmills. I don't know, I just find them really, really nice to look at. They obviously promote green energy. They give us free energy when the wind is there. And so we're actually going to just connect all of these guys up, and hopefully that will help our general energy mix as well in the long run. And I think this actually looks quite nice as you approach into this area. It's just so funny, the contrast though between this very concretey area here and then our beautiful green sandy island on this side. And I think all of these places are really, really blending in nicely. And I was actually wrong. This is a residential plot. It's actually this place here. This is an outdoor sauna, which I'm going to have to relocate over here because we do have one little plot here for some low density commercial that we're still yet to spawn in. So there you go, our first proper island of this episode. So what I envision, guys, is there to be this great big kind of skeletal structure here that connects all of these islands together. We're actually just going to connect this one up as well very quickly. Surrounding this skeleton, we're basically then going to have all of our side roads, but this skeleton is going to contain our major tram tracks. And so the first thing we're actually going to do is remove what we initially created here, because I'm really kind of want to try to develop something where from the get-go, this road has got tram tracks. And so maybe these ones along here could somehow connect. I wonder if it'd be slightly easier to connect potentially on the other side of the shore. We'll try it here and see what happens. So if that connects there, and then over here, we then upgrade this road to tram tracks. Oh my God, there you go. Oh, perfect. Okay, so that is all really, really nicely connected now. And so we can basically just upgrade all of these roads coming along here to contain tram tracks. I guess the trams do not like roundabouts nor cul-de-sacs, which we'll kind of leave out for the time being then, I guess. And we'll just continue to upgrade as many of these roads as possible. And I think this is going to look so beautiful by the end of this. Now let's get on with building the rest of our grid system. So here we go, a grid system that seems to actually work. We've got our one-way systems all in place, and other than that, it seems like we are ready to actually start putting our tram stops in. So let's get on with that now. Time lapse. Now the next thing we obviously have to do is actually upgrade all of these small roads to have trams. So let's do that right now. Time lapse. No time lapse, just do it. Ignore all of that. Now it's time to actually start adding our stops in. And I'm going to go with the European Union version style of the tram stops because I think they're actually really quite pretty. And we're basically just going to take these along our main road here, basically at every available junction. And I think this will end up working out really quite nicely for our communities along here. And I'm not going to be too shy about like how often I put these stops down and stuff as well, because they're pretty cheap, and considering cars are not going to be massively driving around this area, I think it's only right that we do have lots and lots of tram stops around here. In some of these areas, we're going to need to have some of these loops basically resolved, which we can very easily do just like this. But it does the job. And then we'll do the exact same thing over here as well. Once again, looping everything off. And so everything's all kind of like nicely connected now, which is fantastic. And so now all we have to do really is just start to spawn things in. Before I do that, I'm going to add some alleyways though. So when I said alleyways, I mean pavements. As you can see, we've used pavements to connect all of these islands up even more for the pedestrians, which is exactly what we want. And the next thing we have to do now is just start to actually zone in what we want to spawn. And so on this main island here, I think it would actually be really, really nice if we went for some old town apartment buildings, especially for this main kind of promenade area here where the trams are going to be. So we're going to stick with European architecture for the time being, and we're going to go for some EU mixed old town style apartment buildings right along our main road here. These apartment buildings would actually then end up blending really nicely onto this island with some medium density row homes that we can put along here. Row homes can spawn in with like a 2-tile grid. If not, we can always fix that. The surrounding areas of our medium density row homes, we're going to go for just some standard low density waterfront housing. And going back to our main island, we're going to surround some of this remaining areas with some normal EU mixed housing at the entrance here, some row homes backing this entire area along here and here. And then we'll go for some normal low density housing for the remainder of this area before we then go over to offices, and we're going to fill this entire area here with offices, a workplace for people to go if they do not work in any of the shops in this mixed housing. And considering this is our main island, I guess it kind of makes sense for us to have our offices here. Then as we progress onto our other islands, let's figure out what else we want. I kind of like the idea that this island here, considering it's so central, is like our kind of main shopping island. And so why don't we actually go for some EU medium density business that we can stick here all along this island here. Maybe this island here we can saturate just with some low density waterfront housing. And maybe we can do the same here as well. Going back to our car park very quickly, considering we haven't really put much of that around the place, how about some low rent housing? I don't know if it can spawn in like a 2x2 grid like this, but having some low rent housing kind of by our car park, I think makes a lot of sense regarding like where it normally be located. And then going back to these islands here, how about this island we fill with some EU mixed housing, not old town style though. And then once again, fill the rest here with some low density residential. We're going to do the same here and then the very same here for this whole island as well. And so we now have everything completely zoned in the exact way we want. We just have to start thinking now about some of the other things. Firstly, healthcare is going to be of critical importance. I think it's going to be very important in our main area here to have some proper healthcare. So we're going to go for a large medical clinic. We're going to stick it right on this junction over here, where I think it will be really nicely accessible for the remainder of the island. Obviously, these islands are going to be pretty sprawled out, as you can see. And so it's only right, I think, that we put another small medical clinic somewhere central around this area. And I think it will fit really nicely on this corner over here. Next thing is obviously going to be education, and we're definitely going to need some elementary schools around here. I think we could probably do with like a small elementary school somewhere like in the little corner here, and perhaps another one around here somewhere. Maybe we could put it on this corner here. High school is going to be very important as well. We're only going to go for one though, because I don't want to like completely saturate this whole area just with services. And so maybe on the other side of the road, on the adjacent island here, we can have the high school next to this elementary school here, very nicely complementing our small elementary school over here in this area. Obviously, that's going to mean all these guys living here are going to have to commute sort of more into the suburbs, I suppose you could call them, for education. But again, that's kind of what our tram network is for, so that should be okay. Fire service is obviously very, very important. I think it would be quite a nice thing for us to have it on this island here. However, we simply do not have any space. We're actually going to put it in our office district and our main island here. We're going to relocate this firehouse. We're going to take it a little bit out of town, and we're going to put it right on this junction here. Just stay with me for a second. And then our police station, we're going to put where our fire station was, right here in our office district. That I think should cover this entire area really quite nicely, especially considering we should have minimal traffic in this whole area. Now, parks, of course, are super important. So why don't we stick a basketball center right next to our high school here? Maybe a canopy park over here. A few more here, maybe a playground over here, with another park opposite, and another one in the middle of all of this residential area also. Now, considering this is going to be like all pedestrianized, bit of a gated community, I think it's going to probably attract quite wealthy people. And so I think it's actually time for us to start using some unique buildings. And the first one I'm going to put down is the real estate agent's mansion right here at the end of this road, where I think it will fit so nicely. Just look at this. Right to the end of the tram line, I think it just fits so nicely in this area. And so we're going to keep it just like this. We also have the Extreme Athletes Villa that I think would fit really nicely on this corner over here. And I just love these unique buildings. You don't really see them often because most people don't tend to put them down, but I just think they're so nice and they add some real character to some of these areas. It's going to be of critical importance that we connect up our tram line to our tram depot. And I think it's time now to actually start creating some lines. Now, I think all of our major lines are going to originate from here. So why don't we begin it here and start our long journey along this main road. And this line is basically just going to carry us all the way along this main road until you get all the way to the nap end like this, and then we're just going to loop back just like this. And we're going to call this first line the main line because it goes all the way straight through our central roads, as you can see here. The next line we're going to do is going to branch in one specific direction. And look at these beautiful trams go. I mean, they are completely backlogged right now, but I think as soon as they start to kind of spread out a bit, this is going to work really nicely. We're going to call this place Tram Island City for the time being. Obviously, if you guys have better ideas, then let's go for it. Leave them in the comments below and I will make sure that I change it. But we're going to ban combustion engines. We're going to make it a gated community. We're going to ban heavy traffic. We're also going to add a roadside parking fee to try to put people off from actually parking in this area. We're also going to add speed bumps in. And we're also going to initiate the Urban Cycling Initiative, which could completely reduce the amount of cars that we see in this area. And as you can see, even now, there are barely any cars currently in this area, which is really, really cool. These car parks are basically empty. I wonder if introducing some kind of tourist attraction would actually really encourage people to come here as well. And I think the water park, considering we're literally on water as well, would make a lot of sense to have. And so why don't in this little corner here, considering we've got it, and considering this is a super affluent area right now, gated community, barely no cars, we've already got celebrities moving in, as you can see over here, and also over here, why don't we get one of our signature tourist attractions in the form of the water park, and how about we bring it right into this corner here? I think this actually works really, really nicely. That is an awesome water park. I mean, I can't imagine people like flying abroad to come here, but for the rest of our city, if they like are so inclined, I guess they probably would come here, make use of our parking lots, and then get the tram all the way over there to use it, which is exactly what we want. Our next line, we're going to start once again at the loop station here. And now instead of going all the way up this way like our last line, this is actually going to go to this parallel station Pyle Beach, and then we're going to take it right down along here before coming up to this shopping area here, and then doing the same thing over here as well, looping all the way around before we then come back, do these two stops again, and then continue on our way back past our little beach island back to the loop station. And this one we're going to call Branch Line. And as you can see from these two lines, we're basically covering everywhere that needs to be covered, which is an awesome and fantastic start to our tram network. Now, although our tram network is going to be mainly to connect all of these islands together, I do feel quite inclined when we eventually build a train station over here for our old town, as we've spoken about before, I'm quite inclined to actually get a little tram that connects from here all the way through our Tram Island City, maybe not actually stopping anywhere here, but over to this car park here, over to this major loop station. And then something very similar happens near our train station here, this terminus to our downtown, where we have a tram line that connects up to this intermediary point as well. Which means if you want to go from downtown to the old town, you might not want to get a train all the way along here, but instead you go and grab a tram from there to there, and then from here, you can then go all the way to the old town. I suppose that is all to be decided and discovered in good time. Generally speaking though, guys, I think we have done a really nice job with these islands. I feel like they each have their own real personality. They're all such unique shapes, yet they're so interconnected. And I think this is a really good start to our beautiful tram network that we're developing here in Vanilla Shores. Over the next few episodes, I think we will start to see, especially with medium and high density demand starting to grow, our major island here expand massively to see all of our old town mixed style European housing. Our beautiful island over here, this is probably our only complete island we actually have right now, where everything we want spawned in is spawned in. And once again, all of the detailing from these little deck chairs here to our kiosks and everything else in between, I think is just so nice. All of these other islands here as well with low density have obviously all spawned in basically fully now. And I think we'll probably revisit this island at some point in the coming episodes when our demand starts to increase to beautify a little bit more. And now if you guys enjoy content like this and you want to see some more City Skylines 2 Vanilla Shores content, then make sure you hit subscribe to never miss out on a brand new video, and also hit a like if you enjoy content like this, because it makes a world of difference to the channel and I'll be forever thankful. Thank you guys so very much as always for watching. Happy building, and I will see you all again in the next video very soon.